I want to dive right into one of the most exciting fights that we've really witnessed. A fighter that both of us really like and enjoy watching, Robert Whittaker, who just came off of a very clean victory against Kelvin Gastelum. Obviously, there's a huge contention about who faces the champion next. So, what's your take on this? Does it have to be Vettori, or do you think it should be Bobby Knuckles?
So there's three names in this in this top three of the title contention with this middleweight division. Well, first things first, the middleweight division has always been one of the hottest divisions in the UFC. A couple of it was a little slow for the last couple of years, but with guys like Marvin Vettori, Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa, and of course the champ Israel Adesanya, everybody gets to call their own shots. But as of now, the only person that gets to call these shots is Izzy himself. Um, I think that the smart thing to do would be to let Marvin Vettori and Robert Whittaker fight this out and see who gets to face the champion.
Oh, okay, interesting. Because I think that's the fair sense to go about it. But I think in terms of money fights, the way the matches are being booked these days, it looks like they kind of want to get a middleweight fight, probably towards the end of the summer, right? Just if you look at it calendar wise, we had Izzy fight Jan, when was it, the end of Feb, towards the end of Feb, I think. Right, so even if they give a 6 month recovery time, we're looking at some time in August. So for Vettori and Whittaker to fight before then seems slightly unlikely, right? Because as a purist, I think you'd want to see a number one contender title, number one contender bout. But suppose that doesn't happen. Suppose we don't get that number one contender bout, and each of them are coming off of 3 wins. Robert Whittaker's got 3 decision wins, and so has Marvin Vettori. But obviously, the category of fighters that he's fought makes a huge difference. Obviously, the people who Robert Whittaker's fought are a lot more storied. They are top contenders as opposed to Marvin Vettori. Not saying that he hasn't fought anyone good, but more to say that he fought a pretty tired Kevin Holland after his loss. And especially during a time where I don't think Kevin Holland had the time to make those adjustments that right after that Derek Brunson fight. So when you factor those things in, who do you think, if they had to make a title shot right now, I mean next, I guess, you think
I
that?
think Robert Whittaker should get that shot again because he was just so dominant as a champion. The way Marvin Vettori's won his last couple of fights has been bum rushing guys to the cage, taking them down, beating them up, wearing on them for 5 rounds or 3 rounds, however long his bouts are. But Robert Whittaker, as you said, has fought a high caliber, and he's fought almost everybody in that top 5 and beaten everybody in that top 5 of the middleweight division. But he was also the only guy to beat Yoel Romero twice. Who does that? And I think that Yoel Romero is a far more dominant wrestler than Marvin Vettori can ever be. Although Vettori is a lot younger, he's a lot quicker, and he's a lot more hungry than Yoel Romero was at 42. But I think that Robert Whittaker definitely deserves another shot at that title, and if the title is to change hands, then the next person in line for that is definitely Marvin Vettori.